guys, so today I am finally going to be moving my Crested Gecko Harper into her adult enclosure. It is the one right behind me. This is the Skyscraper by ZooMed. This enclosure is actually 18 by 18 by 36. So it is really tall, and I'm really excited to finally move her in. Most people recommend putting an adult Crested Gecko in an 18 by 18 24, and that is what I plan to use. But a few months ago, it was actually quite a few months ago now, I went to a local pet store and they had this cage there, and it was actually on sale. I think it was like $112 or so. So it was actually on sale for cheaper than an 18 by 18 by 24, so I could get another foot of height, so why not do that since it's going to be cheaper in the long run. I'm sure Harper's not going to complain about having a little bit more space in there, so I went ahead and picked up the Skyscraper. This is the first time I have used a ZooMed cage. Normally I use Exoterra's because I do prefer the 2 doors in the front, and the ZooMed just has the 1 large door on the front that opens. But I really wanted to try this out just because it is a cool cage. So hopefully I don't mind the 1 door too much, but I guess I will just find that out after using it a bit. Harper is finally big enough to go in here. Right now she is in her 12 by 12 by 18. That's what she's been in since I got her, but she's a pretty good size right now. I haven't weighed her for a while, but I know last time I weighed her she was around 25 grams. So she's definitely big enough in my opinion to go into here. I don't think she'll have any trouble finding her food or anything. So today I'm going to be moving her in here. Every time I set up a new enclosure, I always get a ton of requests from you guys to do a video showing me setting it up, and I always have really good intentions to do it, but then I end up not filming it just because I want to get it done. And it does take a lot more time when you're trying to film something because you have to make sure you're not in the way of the camera and everything. But today, since this might be the last enclosure I set up for a little while, since my gargoyle gecko Pickle has a long way to grow before he gets upgraded, I thought I would go ahead and film this for you. So I'm gonna go ahead, before I start setting it up, I will give you guys a quick overview of everything I bought for it, and then we will get on to the video. So here is the majority of stuff that's going to be going in Harper's enclosure. This is just all the brand new stuff I've bought and I haven't opened yet. And there is Steve. Steve will not be going in the enclosure. I will be putting some other stuff in there also, but it's just like wood and plants and her food ledge that are in her current enclosure. So I won't have those until closer to the end of the video. This is just all the brand new stuff that I either got at a local reptile shop or at a reptile expo. I'm sure you can find most of this online also, but I just bought all mine locally. This is just some coconut fiber. It's a brand I've never used before, but I thought I would try it out. And then I have a really long piece of grape wood, which I'm really excited about. It has a lot of little branches coming off, so let's go ahead, get all this stuff out of the packaging, and we will start setting up Harper's enclosure. So hopefully this angle will work for you guys, and I won't be in the way of the camera or anything too much. So let me go ahead and open this up, and then we will start by putting the bedding in. Like I said, this is a brand I've never tried before. I just got it at the local reptile expo. It's just natural cocoa husk, and it says there's no need to soak in water. So I'm gonna go ahead and hopefully this package will fill the whole thing. Personally, I don't make the substrate too deep for my Crested Geckos, just because I don't do bioactive vivariums or anything. So I like to have a nice layer for humidity, but there's no reason that I need to make it super deep. Steve is right here. Honey, you need to get back. So we will see how this is. It feels kind of like the bricks of Eco Earth, so I'm not sure why it says you don't need to soak it in water, but we will find out. Putting in all the coconut fiber off camera. It did take a lot longer than I was expecting. I did end up adding quite a bit of water just to make it break up a little bit quicker, even though the package said you didn't need to. But since this is going to be a pretty humid tank anyway, and I'm going to be misting it every day, I went ahead and added water. I got most of the big clumps out, so it should be good to go. I do use Eco Earth instead of paper towels for Harper, just because I know there is no risk of impaction because her ledge is up high. And then when I feed her insects, I do hand feed her, so she's never hunting them, so she doesn't have the risk of eating any of this, which is why I don't use paper towels. I just really like the way it looks. So now I'm gonna go ahead and start adding the wood and stuff. I did get some stuff out of her current cage also to add. So the first thing I'm gonna add is this giant piece of wood because this is the main thing in the cage. So I want to make sure I have space for it, and it is going to be a pretty tight fit as you can see, so I may have to dig some of the bedding out to get it in here how I want, but I want it at an angle, I know that, so I'm going to dig out this corner and we'll see if it sits right down in here. So that's not going to work because this part is sticking out. So I'm just gonna keep turning it around, see if I can find an angle that I am happy with. Let's see how this looks. Let me put some bedding back around the base. So that didn't take very long at all, but I actually think I am pretty happy with this. The way it is, she has a shelf here she can sit on, and then let me move the camera up a little bit. And then you can also see there's a little shelf here, and then one at the very top. So this covers quite a bit of the cage. So I think I'm pretty happy with it like that. So that's going to be the main focus of her cage. And then one thing that I grabbed out of her current little enclosure is this little vine. I think it's by Zilla. I got it at a local pet store when I first got her. I think I'm going to put this back in the corner because there's a lot of empty space back there. So let me see. I'm just going to move this around. I do like to bury the feet a little bit so it's nice and sturdy. Kind of intertwine these. I'm sure I'll go back in after I film and move everything a little bit more because I'm never completely happy with it. I'm sure most of you understand that. So I think that's good for now. It has a little bit of overlap between the vine and this branch so she can go from piece to piece. And then I also did get her a piece of cork. This is a piece of cork that she has in her current little cage. She absolutely loves hiding in here. So I think I'm going to put this maybe in, I don't know if I want it in the front corner or if that's going to be too busy. There's also some spot in that back corner. So I think I'm going to try to put it back there. So hopefully you guys can see, I know that glass is probably a little bit of a glare, but I'm going to put this back here just like that. Give her a little hide back in that back corner. Don't know how well you guys can see that. And then other than plants, I just have one more piece to put in. This is her Mag Naturals hide. I got this on Pangea's website. She absolutely loves laying in these because it has magnets on this side, so you can put it wherever you want on the glass, and she can have a little hide way up high. I think I'm going to put it right over here on this side because it is more empty. So I'm just going to take the magnets off. I think I'm going to put it about right in the middle, and then I'll have plants in front of it and below it. So I think that is good. And then I put the magnets far away and slowly slide them into place. If you put them too close, it can break the glass because they are very strong magnets. So let me grab the camera and show you. So this is where that is. Let me get a little overview of the entire enclosure so far. So this is what it looks like without the plants. The other reason I do like Exoterras better than the Zillas, besides the one door, is this doesn't come with a 3D background. It does come with a background, but it's just like paper. And it is stuck on the inside, so I don't know how well it's going to hold up. I did try to remove it so I could put it on the outside, but it was not coming off without ripping it. So I'm sure it won't be up for too long before I have to do something different. I do wish it came with a 3D background like the Exoterras, but this is going to work. So she has all these different branches to sit on, so now I'm going to start adding the plants. So the first plant I'm going to add is this giant plant. Like I said, I got this at a local pet store. I do have another one, and I know I ordered it from Pangea's website, so I do know you can get it online also. I think I'm going to put it back here. There's kind of a blank space right here. So I think I'm going to throw it right in there. That way there's not too much open space right in the middle, and she has places to climb and jump around everywhere. So that I think looks good right there. I never think I'm the best at setting up enclosures, so I'm never super happy with them. Whenever I see people's enclosures online, I think they look way better than mine. But hopefully this one turns out okay. So now I'm going to get all the hanging plants. So the first plant I'm going to put in is this giant vine. I like this because it's going to add a little bit of color to the enclosure because it does have some red on it. I think I'm mainly going to wrap this around the main wood piece, just so she has some extra cover when she's in the middle of her tank. So I'm going to just start wrapping it around all of this. I forget how long it is exactly, but it is a pretty nice size. So I think it will cover the entire wood. So here's a little overview so far with that vine wrapped around. That vine did a really good job of filling up the middle of the enclosure, so there's not too much empty space. That way she has plenty of things to hide in anywhere she is, plus there's places for her to sleep everywhere. So now I'm gonna go ahead and add in all of the hanging plants. So I bought a few different plants for her. I bought a couple of these large ones. This one is silk. I found that she does like to sleep in the silk ones Probably just a little bit softer than the plastic. I think I'm gonna put this one back in the far back corner. Once again, I'm sorry if the angles on this are bad. This is why I never actually film when I set up the cages or the enclosures. So I'm going to stick that one back in that corner. And then I have a smaller plastic one. I think I'm gonna put this over here to fill up some of this space on this side. And then I bought one other large plastic one. I am gonna put her food dish about right in here. So I don't wanna put too many plants at the front. So I'm gonna see if I can try to get this closer to the back of her enclosure. That way her food dish, this isn't completely hidden. I'm gonna stick that on there and then try to push it back towards the back. And now I think the only thing left is to add her food and water ledge. So I just grabbed this ledge from her other enclosure. I'm gonna stick it right up here so it's easy for me to access. Just gonna put it right at the front. This is where it was in her other enclosure also. And then I did go ahead and I got her some fresh water to go in there. I know a lot of geckos won't drink out of a bowl, but I still like to provide it at all times just in case she is thirsty and there's not a ton of humidity in here at that time. I just want to make sure she has access to water 24/7. I'm not going to add any food yet just because I know she's not going to eat until later tonight. So there's no point in adding it now and just letting it dry out before then. Since this enclosure is a lot bigger than she's used to right now, I'm definitely going to be monitoring her food intake very closely over the next few days to make sure she's finding it okay. If I have any trouble or any doubts, I'll add some more food ledges for her, but I don't think she will have any trouble, so I think we are done. So here is a little overview of Harper's Skyscraper before I grab her from her other enclosure and put her in here. Overall, I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. There's not a whole bunch of blank spaces, so she should feel nice and secure and have a ton of places to hide. I'm sure I won't be able to find her near as easy anymore because there are so many places for her to hide. She can go up in her cave, she can hide in the vines, she can hide actually inside this plant, or she can even hide down here in these vines. So I think she's really, really going to enjoy it. So let me go grab Harper and we will put her in. So here is Harper, my crested gecko. She's insanely light right now because she was sleeping and I woke her up. She's usually a much darker, like reddish orange than this, so she's definitely fired down right now. So I'm gonna go ahead and let her go in the new tank and explore. I also forgot to put her humidity gauge in, so I will do that after the video because that's still in her old enclosure, but let's go ahead and put her in. Are you ready to go home, Harper? See what she does. I'm guessing she'll just go hide and we will never see her again. So I'm going to leave her alone so she can check everything out and settle in. I know it's a little stressful going into a new environment, so I don't want to bother her too much. I will feed her tonight and check on her just to make sure she is still eating and everything okay. But I'm just going to go ahead and mist this down so it's nice and humid, and then I'm going to leave her alone. So hopefully you guys enjoyed seeing this setup of Harper's new skyscraper. I'm sure a lot of the angles weren't very good, and that is why I usually don't film setup videos, but I do get a lot of requests, so I thought I would at least try today. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to leave a big thumbs up down below. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next time.